folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode, what is this? An unimpressive black binder? Could it be? Could it be that he's finally gone crazy? That the 4th edition fans have found him and beaten him up and given him brain damage so he can't even talk about his favorite games anymore? Not quite, gentle viewers. PDF reviews today. Several of the Daring Tales lines for the Savage Worlds game. These come from Triple Ace Games, who've really done a nice job of making really clean adventures in a variety of genres. To start with, the previous episode, we reviewed the Daring Tales of Adventure, which were the pulp role-playing type of games. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Daring Tales of Chivalry and Daring Tales of the Space Lanes. These are more of a medieval sort of fantasy setting, not your usual elves and horses and swords and spells fantasy, but more something along the lines of Mallory than you would say Eddings. And Daring Tales of the Space Lanes, which is a sci-fi game. With all of these, one of the things they do that I think is just made of win, in my opinion, is they give you characters to go along with these if you want to use them. So let's say your GM's out of town for a couple weeks and you want to do a pickup game of a sort of a Mallory-style fantasy game. Well, you go, you get a Knight's Tale, which is right here, and you also download the characters. And the characters start at a certain advancement level, either 5, 10, 20 experience points, that you can then, as you go through them, it's considered that one adventure is a level up. So after one adventure, you level up, and then you can either pick what you buy with that level up, be it a new attribute, more skills, new edge, whatever, or you can just click and they have one programmed in for you. Let's say that you don't want to do a Knight's Tale and Death at a Joust looks painful for you, but you really like the idea of the Danbury Curse, which is several adventures in. Well, then you just go, all right, how many experience points? Let's say it's 25. Click, click, click. You're done. You've got your character. You print them off and you go. That builds in assumptions that you know your character will be ready for these adventures. So what do each one of these bring to you? Well, one, the first of the Daring Tales of Chivalry is a Knight's Tale, which is a nice introductory. It's reasonably short. You have to help out a monastery from a critter. The next one is Death at a Joust. Now, this one to me feels like it could be right out of a Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game. In fact, this is so magic-free in this particular one, you could very easily put this in a Song of Ice and Fire. Just change some of the names. It'd work beautifully. The extensive setting is medieval Europe. At this one, you deal with a big celebration, with intrigue, with people keep dropping dead, with what's going on, and it gives you nice rules for how to deal with the joust and other competitions you have at these tourneys. The third Daring Tale of Chivalry is the Danbury Curse. This brings in the Fae in a not cute, cuddly, elven, or sprightly kind of way, but curses on the lands sort of situation with some really nice maneuvering to figure out what's going on. Then the Daring Tales of the Space Lanes. These are your more standard sci-fi fare. Also come with a certain battery of characters and a spaceship that it's assumed you have. As you go through these, the first one is sort of a cargo run that goes wrong with the various crime syndicates you're working with. The second Daring Tales of the Space Lanes is gunboat diplomacy. This is sort of your more standard. It's a diplomatic situation where you've got a system that was at war and they've calmed down, but there are still people who are trying to kill each other, and you somehow get stuck in the middle of it. These, to me, feel less like Firefly because there's things like aliens and robots and psychic powers. To be honest with you, it doesn't feel very Firefly to me. But what it does is it could very easily be a Farscape game. If you really wanted to change some of the names around, stick Farscape in here, it's great. One of the things that comes along with the Daring Tales of the Space Lanes are some space pulp rules. What these bring to you is some ideas about different ways to use the Savage World setting to make it feel sort of space pulpy along those lines. And honest to God, one of the best ideas, and I hit myself for not thinking of this, says right here in that, instead of making up your own all new alien races, just convert some of the fantasy races and change the names. If you want to call the orcs the Chelids or the Charons or something, go for it. Your players might recognize it, but it's still just as fun because you get to do Charid stomping. So there you go. These are really good individual adventures that could be strung together into a larger campaign, or good for one night's play using the Savage World system. I like these a lot, folks. These are available for PDF from a variety of vendors, including Triple Ace Games' website, as well as DriveThruRPG and RPG Now. If you want individual pickup adventures that could either be strung together or just a standalone one-night sort of thing, this is probably a really good buy for you. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.